Okay, so now let us quickly go through the workbook with all of you. Okay, so it would be section exercise both 6.1 and also 6.2, which is also the coverage of this time UT uniform test. So in this case, okay, I want you to take out a red pen to help me to do the marking because I'm not in Hong Kong, so I cannot do the marking for you. So in this case, I want you to take out the red pen to do the marking by yourself, okay? And later on, I will collect it back and check it, okay? So now, okay, matter is anything which has what we call mass and it take up space, okay? So if it has mass and it take up space, then in this case, we will say it is the matter. So in the theory about matter, all the matter is made up of what we call the tiny particles, okay? They are moving randomly all the time. So this is one of their theory, okay? So there are also some empty spaces between them. So they may have different mass and also different size, okay, the particles. So some substance such as gold, they are made up of one kind of atoms, okay, one kinds of atoms. But there are also some substance, for example, water, they are actually made up of what we call the molecules. So sound and light, they are non-matter because they do not have mass and do not take up space. So therefore it would be true, okay? So uh, apart from these, okay, sound and light, okay, actually there are also some other things, okay, for example, like the heat or etc., like the thermal energy or heat, okay. These are also something that what we call a non-matter because they do not have any mass and they do not take up any space, okay. So uh, then, okay, what would be the things that is a matter? Okay, for example, us human or maybe the screen or whatever. Okay, these are what we call the matter. Next, okay, the air particles are too small to be seen under the light microscope. So definitely it is true. Okay, the one that we see, this one that we can see, it would be that means the lab, okay, that we or maybe the smoke cell that we can see. Actually, it would be what we call okay, the smoke particle, but not the just the air particles. Okay, so it is the smoke particle. Okay, that uh, sorry, maybe I use another way around to the smoke cell. Okay, so what we see it would be the smoke particle. Okay, so therefore the air particles are more tiny. So it is smaller in size. So therefore we cannot see okay clearly in the or we cannot see under the light microscope. Next, the gas particles move in one direction only. So, so you can see that actually the gas particles, it will not just move in one direction, but it will move in all direction randomly because we don't know where it will go. So therefore, in this statement, actually it will be false. It should not be in one direction, but it is in all direction. Okay. So next, iron and gold, they are made up of the same kind of atom. Iron and gold, you can see the name are different. So therefore, they are two different substances. So they should not made up of same kind of atoms. But both of them, they are made up of atoms, but they are different atoms. They're made up of different atoms. The iron, it will be made up of what we call the iron atom. While the gold, it would be made up of gold atom. Next, all molecules consist of two atoms joined together. Okay, all molecules consist of two atoms joined together. So in this case, it will be also correct. Okay, sorry, it should not be correct. Okay, because one of the example. Okay, example. example, H2O. So it is not only two atoms joined together. It would be more than two. Okay, so it should be two or more atoms. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so H2O, for example, that means water. It would be two hydrogen atom and one oxygen atom. So therefore, there are total of three atoms. It would be two or more atoms, okay? Two or more atoms joined together, okay? Next, okay, which of the following statement about matter is correct? Matter, it has mass, yes. It has, it occupies space, so it is also yes. As it occupies space, so meaning that it also has volume, okay? Because without volume, then in this case, it will not occupy the space, okay? So if it occupies the space, then meaning that it also take up the volume, okay? So therefore, D. Okay, which of the following is not a statement of the particle theory? All matter are made up of particles, okay? So it is a certain statement that we can see, which is the all matter that is always made up of that particular. For example, maybe like the gold, okay, actually is made of gold particles, and the gold particles, it consists of gold atom, okay. Next, the particles are moving regularly all the time. It's regularly. So definitely it is not correct, okay. It should not moving regularly, but it should be moving randomly all the time, okay. So therefore, the answer over here, it would be B. Next, when 40 cm cube of water is added to 40 cm cube of alcohol, so therefore the total volume, it will be definitely, it should be less than 80 cm cube, because the alcohol, it is some what we call larger particles, while water, it would be a smaller particles. So the smaller particles actually will fill the space of the larger particles. So therefore, the empty space of the larger particles. So therefore, the smaller particles actually, okay, they as they fill in the space of the empty space of the larger particle. So in this case, the overall volume, the overall total volume should be less than the sum of the volume. Okay, the sum of the solution. So now we try to open, okay, the brown, the cover plate. So in this case, how would the brown gas goes? The brown gas will move from the beaker towards to the hold area. So in this case, actually, it would distribute evenly. So therefore, it would be B. Okay, it would be B. So you may ask the question whether it will react, okay, and form like a molecule. So it will not. Why? Because we just mix them together. Only once there is reaction. For example, we add heat, we add electricity, or we got light, okay, shining towards to the box, then there might be some reaction, the chemical reaction works. Then in this case, they will form maybe molecules. But if they do not have any things, or the particles, maybe they may mix together or form some mixture, a compound, what we call, then if there is no any reaction occur, then they are just simply mixed together. So they are just flying freely, okay? But they are not stick together, okay? So now let us quickly have a look on the structural question. The two identical boxes are half filled with the squash ball and also the marbles. The marbles are poured into the squash ball and are well mixed up with the ball. So do the ball and also the marble fill up the top to the top of the box after they are mixed? So definitely no. Why? Because there are some empty spaces between the ball and also marbles. So when they are mixed together, the smaller marbles will fill in the space between the larger squash ball. So therefore, the total volume will be smaller than the sum. Okay, so when water and alcohol, they are mixed together, so the volume of the mixture is actually smaller than the sum of the volume of the two liquids. So based on your answer in A, explain why. So we just change the word, the ball and also the marbles into water and also alcohol. So it's just totally the same. there is water and alcohol. They are made up of different particles. So there are spaces between particles. So when the water and also alcohol, they are mixed together, so the smaller particles will fill the space between the larger particles. So therefore, the total sum of the solution, it will be smaller than the sum of the volume of alcohol and also water. So next, in a school fun day, okay, some students are baking cookies in an oven or in the school hall. So after a while, okay, students can smell the cookie anywhere in the hall. Explain the phenomenon, okay, by using the particle theory. So by looking at this picture, we can see that actually the particles, the cookie particles, actually they are spreading all over the room so that we can smell it. So of course, there is one thing that we need to mention. It will be the particle, the cookie particle. Actually, they can, yes, okay, they can move randomly all the time. As they can move randomly all the time, so they spread out in all direction to reach everywhere in the hall. So all the students can smell the aroma. So in this case, this is why, okay, when we cook something, the whole room can smell it, okay? So now we move on to 6.2. The gases do not have fixed volume and fixed shape, okay? So the on the right hand side, there is a special things we call it as the kinetic theory model. It can stimulate the arrangement and also the uh, position or the movement of the particles in different states of matter. Okay, so in this case, we can using this model to help us to stimulate the arrangement and also the movement of the particles in different states of the matter. Okay, for example, maybe in for example, maybe the solid state, okay, then in this case, they will have the fixed shape and fixed volume. Why? This is because this is something that we can find it from the kinetic theory model. Still remember the vibration, okay? So the particles in the solid, they are closely packed and they are arranged regularly, okay? They are arranged regularly. Okay, so each particles in the solid, actually they are keep moving, but they are vibrate about a fixed position. They are keep vibrating as the fixed, okay, in maybe it is position A, so they are keep vibrate within this position A, okay? So next, okay, liquid can take up the shape of their containers, okay? So because liquid, okay, they do not have, okay, so they do not have fixed shape, but they have fixed volume. So therefore, their particles can move around in each other. Okay. So next, okay, let us quickly have a look on the true or false statement. The particle model, they can explain different property of solid and liquid and gas. Okay, so this is true. Next, liquid have fixed shape, but no fixed volume. So this is definitely wrong, which is different from what I've just mentioned. Okay, so there are no spaces between the particle of a solid. So this is false. Okay, there should be some space, but they are vibrating because they keep vibrating. So there will be some gap, but these gap are very, very small. So only the very small particles can be passed through. Okay. Next, okay, particles of liquid can move freely in all direction. Okay, so can the particles of the liquid move freely? So no, they are not. They cannot. Okay, so you cannot see. Okay, the water particle maybe suddenly move to somewhere else. Okay, no. Okay, so next, okay, particles of a gas are far apart. Okay, so that is definitely true. A gas can be compressed, okay, relatively easily because its particles are far apart. So this is also true. This is also correct, okay, because the gas, they are compressible because they do not have fixed shape and fixed volume. So in this case, they can be easily compressed. And one of the reasons because they are far apart, okay, the particles are. Okay, so let's have a look on the multiple choice question. So liquid have no fixed shape. Okay, no fixed shape because the space. Okay, actually, between the liquid particles are small. This statement actually is not correct. Okay, because the liquid particles space. Okay, is not directly referring to the fixed shape. Okay, the fixed shape is talking about whether the liquid particles, they can move around easily. That means the particles can move around easily. If they can, then in this case, they do not have fixed shape. But if they can't, for example, like the solid, they can only vibrate at a fixed position, then in this case, they cannot move freely, or they do not have a fixed shape. Okay. Next, okay, which of the following has the fixed volume but no fixed shape? Okay, so fixed volume means that it would be liquid, okay, and no fixed shape, okay. Sorry, I mean fixed volume, it would be liquid and also solid, okay, but with a no fixed shape, so meaning that it will be only liquid. So in this case, if you look at the picture, the only two pictures that look like a liquid, it would be both cooking oil and also the mercury. So therefore, the answer here, it would be C. Now, a student filled the syringe with a 25 cm cube of water from a beaker. So she put a cap on the nozzle. That means the opening of the syringe. Okay. So in this case, which of the following statement is correct? So nozzle here it referring to the opening，即係嗰個開口啊，即係我哋嘗試擺咗一個嘢塞住咗個開口。Okay, so in this case the water will change the shape. Okay, when it move into the syringe from the beaker. So will it change the shape? Definitely, it will be changing the beaker shape into the syringe shape. Okay, for the water. Okay, next, okay, she can push the plunge it inward easily when the syringe is capped with the water. Definitely not, okay, because the uh, water, it has the fixed volume. Next, she can pull the plunger outward easily when the syringe is capped. So can they easily pull it out? Definitely no, okay, because there is no any gas, okay, inside it. Okay, so then the space between the water particles decrease, okay, as the plunger push. So will it decrease? No, it will not. So therefore, the answer here, it would be A. So when a solid is melting, so which of the following statement is incorrect? Okay, so in this case, okay, the particles, okay, have more energy and bump into each other more often. Okay, the particles begins to lose their shape. The particles stay closely to each other. Particles start to move around. Of course, incorrect. So therefore, it would be B. Okay, it begins to lose their shape. So will the particle lose their shape? No. If they have that particular shape, then they will have such particular shape. They will not lose their shape. The particles cannot lose their shape, but the particles can separate from each other. And this causes the arrangement to lose the shape. Okay, so in here, actually, it is not the particles begins to lose the shape. It would be the uh, arrangement lose the shape. Okay. Okay. Now, here it would be something that you can copy from the um, uh, you can copy from the textbook. So I don't go through with you. So I just give you the answer. But okay, then okay, in here I want you to quickly check okay whether it is correct or not. Okay. So then in this case, I want to quickly go through the drawing of with you. Now, in here, you can see there are total of how many particles in this picture. There are total of 16 particles in this table. So in this case, if, for example, maybe this is the ice, so now if it changed to liquid state, then in this case, we need to draw the exact amount okay, exact amount of particle, okay, exact amounts of particles, okay, within the liquid or within the beaker. So that is also fine, but if you would like to draw it neat and tidy, maybe each line or each layer, it would be 8 4. So maybe I draw it better. So this will not be that awkward. Okay, total of 8 ball in each layer. Then in this case, it would not be that awkward. Okay. So next, how about the gas state? Okay, the gas state, it will be something like that. It will line freely with these 16 particles. Okay, so there are a total of 16 ball, okay, or 16 particles, okay, that appear, but lying evenly and also lying freely within this container. So if you look at here, we can see that actually the particles are far apart from each other and they are lying freely. So therefore, the state of the matter actually it would be gas state, okay? And next, okay, describe the property of these states of matter. So do they have any fixed shape? Do they have any fixed volume? So it will be definitely they do not have fixed shape and also they do not have fixed volume. So to use the particle model to explain your answer in B, so in this case, it would be the reason behind because they are far apart, okay? So therefore, okay, they do not have any fixed shape, okay? The gas particles, they can move freely in all directions, so they do not have the fixed shape. And the gas particles, they are far apart, so they are easily compressed, so therefore they do not have fixed volume, okay? So therefore, we can see that, okay, if it is, they are able to move freely, they can, if the gas particles, they can move freely in all direction, then in this case, it will be no fixed shape. And if they are far apart, then in this case, okay, they do not have any fixed volume, okay? Sorry. And they do not have the fixed volume, okay? They do not have the fixed volume. Okay, they do not have the fixed volume, okay? So this is how we do the combination. Far apart, no fixed volume. Moving freely, no fixed shape. Okay. So this is how we can answer this type of question. So this would be the end of the debriefing of the workbook. So please double check whether you have correct all the things. Okay. So if yes, then in this case, that's very good. Okay. You can use these things for you to do the revision. Okay. So if you have any other question, feel free to ask me about it.